Hey, welcome back to Every Kind of I Do, where I am taking you through some amazing love stories, wedding inspirations, and more. And it heavily involves a lot of everything. So I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope that you're okay with realistic and authentic flubs and all the other things, because I don't edit this mess. I don't want to do any edits to this mess. I think being authentic to who you are is a huge portion of what wedding days are, as well as celebrating your love. So I'm here for all of it. Today's going to be unique as well because we're going to talk about like how in the world does this feel like San Diego in the middle of a Texas lake? I can tell you I've gone out to this area for a few times and you're kind of so far out of the city, you feel like you're in a different space, right? But what I noticed is this particular couple, it was lovely because they actually chose this venue because it felt a little bit like San Diego. And let me get into the details as to why. Because I've shot weddings in San Diego, I understood why they chose this venue. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to talk about a little bit of San Diego meets Texas right now. So one of the things I want you to know about this particular venue, and it's now called the 501 Yacht Club. And there's probably some things that have changed hands since some changes at the venue, catering and all that stuff. But they still host many, many events there and weddings. So, but what I want to kind of go over is the fact that you are getting a lake view here. So this particular wedding was set up just like this. So you're out there by the tree, it's bright sun, there's a cute little archway, and you get this water view as well as some boats off to the side in the landing here. There's also a tiny little beach off to the right that you can't see in this photo. But really, I was kind of showcasing what it was like to have a wedding to where it feels like you are on land, but you're also on water. It's interesting. It's so interesting to have that duality there. And so when they chose this venue, I was like, well, that's great because you have this indoor outdoor option yet again, where you're getting married outside, but your reception is at a couple of different areas inside the building, depending on your package. Okay. So they had chosen a specific one that was on the main floor there. As soon as you walk out from the ceremony, you go right back into the reception. And depending on the size of your wedding, too, is how this venue would work with you. Okay. But I'm really highlighting why this feels like San Diego. You've got this body of water, and you don't necessarily have the urban feels of it, but you have the harbor feel of it. And so this is why I kind of want to how I wanted to show you like, this couple, they're in love, they're excited. They, have San Diego ties. The family is, they're tied to that concept. Now, some people do weddings with a theme, an overall arching theme, right? Have you ever thought about maybe your hometown? Maybe you can't do something in your hometown or the home state that you live in, but you can find the elements of that in the current place you live in. So for them, like I said, my example is San Diego. They found a piece of San Diego in Texas. So obviously this is in Rockwall and you're off the water. And I took this photo specifically to make it feel like they're in a harbor together. And you have the beautiful sun is coming into the sky down here. You have the reflections on the water. I wanted to silhouette them with the boats because there's just something about, and if you're a lake person, if you're a water person, if you're a beach person, if you live near any bodies of water, then you know the feel. Okay. So, but you can also see while we're here, I might as well note that she's got this adorable dress on with this tiny, tiny little train right here and it button all the way up. And she's got beautiful golden locks for her hair. And it was just lovely. And then I did kind of like a slightly different view because I wanted a little bit more of the sun in the shot. But you get the idea as to why this feels like San Diego. No matter where I crop, look at this. No matter where I crop, it feels like you could be in a harbor or an ocean, right? You can just barely see the other side of the horizon, right? I know, there's a line, it ends somewhere. It's not the middle of the ocean, but it gives you the feel of the middle of the ocean. That's what I love about it. So, and as we're on that, they wanted a little bit of taste of San Diego. We don't have necessarily like an over-the-top nautical theme, but we do have some blue hues that I feel like work very well for this. We'll call it water, off the water wedding, kind of like giving you the ocean meets the lake vibes, okay? So there are a few things and things that they did bring into this that did feel like it was more ocean front. So you'll notice, check this out. There's tiny little starfish. There's some jewel tones and things like that that's in between everything. I don't have photographs in this episode for everything, but they also had beachy things in here that were not over the top nautical, but they were giving the homage to the beach area of California. Okay. So, but I did want to highlight that this cute little cake, as well as other little desserts on the table, was super cute, super simple. They put love on it. It has got a very, very basic, I don't even know what you call it. I'm not a cake person. I don't know how to talk about cakes, but it's got a swoop to it. There's texture on this cake. It's not fondant. It's clearly frosted. Okay. So, but I love the fact that they're just even their display table for the cake, the little platform here is this deep and beautiful blue. So I love that they gave a nod to the beach life without having to, let's do seashells and starfish everywhere with giant ropes and other things. Okay. So I really liked this little cake and it was definitely yummy. And they had a blast. They had an absolute blast at their wedding. And I think that's really saying something when you're looking for your venue or you're looking to accessorize your venue with some of your quirks and your fun things. Don't feel like you have to over accessorize. Maybe you need to just keep it simple and let it be what it is. Or if you are going to over accessorize and just enough, have some fun with it in the way that makes you feel like you're home, right? I mean, I never would have thought of it that way. Like making your wedding feel like home and cozy and warm and the elements of home without having to be at your home, right? Like if you can't always get married where you grew up or where you feel like you want to get married, bring those elements to your wedding and make it feel like home. Well, I'm going to leave you today. I will see you on the next episode. Now, for now, also like and subscribe. Give us a comment or two. Let's start a conversation. Have you gotten married in a space or a place that gives you that sense of home? And what did you do? What did you do to make it feel homey? Tell me all about it. All right, I'll talk to you next time.